Hey, now, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to hour number 2 of the line, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, and AndrewMcLeanWho.com, W-H-O, Andrew McLean Who, 1 C in McLean, don't put 2 C's in there. Don't put 2 C's because that's not how I spell my name. I'm not a communist like double C McLeans are. Also, the Talk 99.5 app. Make sure you download that. It is very important right now as they are working on the tower. And they are actively working on the tower because they had to shut the signal down yesterday during my show to do some work. So they're well, I mean, you know, it's a work in progress. So, hopefully it'll be fixed sooner than later. Looking through, man, we got a lot of texts. Christopher says our G League is moving to Shreveport, so we're losing our G League too.
Good grief! What in the world?
It's almost like a joke. So Natalie says we had a G League. They pulled it after last season. Dang, dude. Christy says they needed hotter cheerleaders, I guess, for the Stallions. Did the Stallions have cheerleaders? I guess they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Wonder how much they got paid. I wonder how much any of the people got paid, like the players. Because wasn't at one time it was like every player got an extra $1,000 for if they won the game that week, which I thought was great. Like give them incentive to get out there and bust it.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully they were paid well considering they won the first 3 championship games. You know, I mean, they were the top of the list. Oh, don't get me started. Did I say their name again? I'm never saying it again. What's that? Man, Trump is the best.
Lynn said, did you hear Dixon voice your podcast a recommendation today? Told people to look it up and hear John Birch sing with another guy. Who were you singing with?
Huh?
I don't know. Dixon was promoting our podcast today, apparently.
I'm singing with another guy?
I don't know. But that was very nice of him. We actually have a new podcast tonight.
Yes, we do.
If y'all have not watched or listened, you'd be better off watching it, but we have, and this is crazy to me, but when you look up our stats, 50% of our non-YouTube Rumble, like video platform stuff that's not video platforms, which I'm talking like listening from odd sites like Podbean or Apple Podcasts. Spotify, you can watch the video on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But Apple Podcast and some of these others, iHeartRadio carries it. Like there's a bunch of different platforms that carry it. But 50% of our downloads or our streams are on Apple Podcasts, which means 50% of the people are only listening to us.
They don't see how pretty we are.
I know. Like, and we play a lot of video. We play, we do things.
Characters and bits and all kinds of stuff.
John Bird's dressed up half the time. It's a whole thing. But y'all look us up and hang out with us tonight. If you don't know how to find us, man, reach out to me. I'll just send you a direct link for it. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube or watch us on Rumble. We don't have a lot of numbers on Rumble, and poor Bubba Rumble is in that Rumble chat by himself every single podcast.
I'm trying to figure out a way to get him a undercover YouTube account.
He said he's not doing YouTube. He said absolutely not.
No. He said to me one time. He said, "Man, I'm thinking about just,
Why don't you let him log into your account?"
No.
Why? You don't trust Bubba?
No, it's just my account's my account. That's like saying, here, you want to borrow my underwear? It's very
You wouldn't let Bubba borrow your underwear if he really needed it, like he was hard up?
Well, I mean, yeah, if he was hard up.
All right, then.
But I wouldn't let him, my new ones, I wouldn't.
I don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, check us out. tonight. We'll start at 6. We usually run about an hour and a half, and then we have a members-only show for people on YouTube that are members, which is $4.99 a month.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we got a letter and some pictures from a big fan of ours that is in the Bull Connor prison in South Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He was just wanting to kind of get, because he knows we worked, we were talking a lot about the documentary and everything. Yeah. So he wrote us a letter about what his day is like.
Really?
And sent some pictures, yeah. So I thought I would read that, and we could show,
Did it get sent directly to you, or did it get sent up here and you just didn't tell me about it?
No, it got sent up here.
Oh. Why didn't you tell me?
Pretty cool. Well, I was going to surprise you, but now.
Good job. You ruined the surprise.
I didn't ruin the surprise. It's gonna be riveting, I think.
Hey, Mandu bringing you this hour of the show. Mandu.com, MANDUU.com. I met a listener yesterday. I actually worked out with a listener yesterday at Mandu. I think it was Jimmy. Jimmy? I hope I'm saying his name right. If your name's not Jimmy, I'm so sorry. My memory's shot. But I think it was Jimmy. And we worked out together, man, got after it. I think that was his 4th session. He was up there because we had talked about it on the radio. He said, I don't have time to get my workouts in like I used to. He said, I used to be a pretty athletic guy and everything else, and I just kind of let it go because I don't have enough time in the day. I work my butt off, 10, 12 hours, and then I got to get home and do stuff. But Mandu's perfect. 15-minute workout, get in, get out of there, and it's just gravy, baby. And so that is the ticket for you. That is your sign to get up there and try Mandu out, especially now through September. Listen to me here. This is a big deal. I don't think we've ever done this. If you are in any way associated with school, such as educators, students, faculty, even if you're a janitor at a school, if you are a school employee and you have a school ID that you can provide, Mandu is going to give you 15% off all your sessions until you stop doing Mandu. That's right. And this is a consistent thing. You will keep that 15% off from now until whenever you decide to quit, which may be never. You may always do it, but you're always going to have that 15% off as long as you consistently stay doing it. And that's a heck of a deal, man. I don't think we've put a deal like that out there before. So now's the time to at least try it and see if it's everything I tell you it is. 15-minute workout with a personal trainer. You're going to see results fast, man, fast and in a hurry. Plus, you've got that motivation from those trainers that are able to kind of guide you and help you, not just there in the Mandu studio, but outside the Mandu studio. If you got questions about, like, what do I do, on the outside, they'll help you out with that. Just great, helpful people. And it'll almost, if you're like me and you're a creature of habit and you do the same time and the same days every week, you start to get to know people that do the same thing. And so it almost like you kind of create this Mandu family. And even though you're only there for a short time, you do feel like you've made friends and you get some socializing in the meantime. So try it out, man. Homewood, Huntsville, and Tuscaloosa, 3 locations. You can use any of them. 15% off for educators, faculty, and students, anybody associated with school, since we're going back to school very soon. I think my kid starts next week, which is crazy. Get on it. Mandu.com. MANDUU.com is the website. All the information right there. Click that button that says claim your free session. Bubba Rumble says, I will proudly wear Bizzle's underwears. No homo.
I'll send him a pair then.
Yeah.
I'll autograph it.
You should. You remember that one time when we were putting together merch and I had a picture of you eating a turkey leg?
Yes.
And we were going to print it on the front of some tidy whities and sell them?
Yes, that would be great.
And you put the kibosh on it. You wouldn't let me do it. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
You said, no, absolutely not. And I was like, seriously? That's fantastic. It was a great piece of merchant. People would eat that up.
Well, you know what? I've got to have some pride in myself.
That's pride. I mean, that's
Then
as
you do
pride
it.
as
Then you do it.
gets.
Then you do it.
Okay, we'll do
I'll
both
tell
of
you
us.
what. I'll do the front and you do the back.
You be the left nut and I'll be the right nut. Yeah, we could do that. I don't know. We need to get the merch back up and going.
Yeah, we do.
Because I don't know that I still gotta call Nick the gun guy. I keep forgetting. He probably thinks I hate him. After I thought he hated me for so long.
I know, man. You need to really stay on top of that.
He probably thinks I'm trying to get back at him for ghosting me. Now I'm ghosting him. I'm not doing it intentionally, I promise. I'm gonna get in touch with you, buddy. I promise. 205-545-9950. When I get back, I want to just touch on a few Fauci things, and then I'm going to be done with Fauci for now until something else pops up. But I got a lot to get to. Again, 205-545-9950. More of the line next. Oh, the song was Sister Hazel, All for You. Is that was that you and Carrie, Inappropriate Carrie, did that together?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We did that together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We played it. We were both playing it,
Yeah.
and we both sang it too.
You were supposed to keep going with the yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we did. I enjoyed it.
205-545-9950.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. If you want to get in, that's the way to do it. Fauci. It's been all about Fauci, man. And I'll be honest, I'm a little Fauci'd out, but it is what it is. Now, here's what's interesting is last night on CNN, they had an attorney or I'm trying to see what his name was. It was just one of their experts that they bring on. Actually, I don't know that he's an expert. He may just be an average attorney. But they were asking him about this situation with pleading the fifth and Rand Paul's theory that they can hold him in contempt of Congress. Now, this is coming down to a legal argument at this point. Can Fauci be in trouble for pleading the fifth while having the blanket pardon that he allegedly received from Joe Biden? Because normally, when you receive a pardon, that would be in exchange for things such as testimony. It kind of puts you in a position where it's like, okay, you've got this pardon. Well, now you have to answer the questions truthfully because, you can't get in trouble for what happened from, it actually would have been January 19th. I think he signed the pardon on the 19th, and it went back 10 years. And so it was Biden's final whole day in office, January 19th, 2025. And that didn't happen, as you saw. He pled the fifth. Listen to what they said.
112 times to invoke the Fifth Amendment. I mean, you can't even string all that together. That obviously, it sends a message. Will that strategy work? Because he says, well, I had to do that because, they're looking for perjury traps. Or does that just make it worse? And is he in real trouble?
I think it makes it worse. It's even a curious way in which you wonder what his legal advice was, why they decided to do that. Yeah. Because he does not face criminal jeopardy for the pardon in all likelihood. He's pardoned for all actions before January 2025. But that also means that you're forced to testify. That's how prosecutors use immunity or pardons, and they say now you're forced to testify because you don't have any criminal liability. What we're going to ask you about. So then to plead the fifth is actually, he could then be held in contempt. There could be, theoretically at least, a Justice Department that goes after him for not answering when he is not really facing that criminal charge.
Yeah, and also when the reason put out is perjury traps, then of course, again, to the layperson, it's saying, well, why wouldn't you just say the truth? What would be the problem in that? Yeah. So, I understand that's a layperson thing, but it doesn't sound good.
I mean, it's, a layperson thing, but it's like an everybody thing. Like, if you did nothing wrong, because the media told us Fauci was just a guy doing the right thing with no ill intentions, nothing bad going on, no shady stuff behind the scenes. Why would you not be able to answer one single question? And the excuse they'll use is Rand Paul's trying to throw him in jail and catch him in a perjury trap. Well, how are you going to get trapped with perjury or charged with perjury if you're telling the truth? Unless, of course, the truth contradicts the things that you've testified to originally, which means you committed perjury at that point. And so you're lying under oath either way. It's a bad look. It's a bad look for a lot of people. And it also, as you know, birthed a lot of conspiracy theorists. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it caused a lot of people, I would dare say a large large portion of society to be highly skeptical of the government. That's why people are going around cutting down flock cameras all the time now. I mean, people do not, the trust in the government is at an all-time low. And while that's not necessarily a good thing, I think it is healthy if we want to talk about the sustainability of this republic. Now, outside of that, and what Donald Trump's DOJ could or would possibly do, Florida's Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is launching a state-level investigation into Anthony Fauci, saying that it's past time that we get the truth. He said yesterday on X that his office is launching a formal state-level investigation into the former NIAID director following his stunning refusal to answer questions under oath. He said, quote, Fauci's lack of candor to Congress is unbelievable. My office is launching an investigation into Dr. Fauci. It's past time we get to the truth of what happened during COVID. And so that is something Fauci does not have immunity from, does not have a pardon for. He can't receive a pardon on a state level unless he gets it from said governor. And I got to imagine that Ron DeSantis is not going to be giving Anthony Fauci any sort of retroactive pardon anytime soon. This may be the ticket. This may be the way to go. And for brave governors, unlike ours, that had their citizens negatively affected by Anthony Fauci's decisions, you've got every right in the world to launch an investigation. And the more, the merrier. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, go for it. There are plenty out there that could not. Incoming Governor Tommy Tuberville, get after it. Let's go. Let's start investigating Anthony Fauci at a state level. Because, again, every single person was affected by this. Every single state was affected. And who knows? Maybe he'll end up in a state prison. Boy, I tell you what, I am really bad at checking messages. I just went through some old like message requests. If you get like people you don't follow send you messages, you don't see them.
Right.
And there's people from like campaigns reaching out to me for races that are already over. Rocky Gold that sang the D's out for Harambe. His manager had reached out to me.
Dude, you got to keep up with that stuff.
like,
Man, that was a while back.
I know. I was like, I'm so sorry, dude. My bad. Columbia, South Carolina, right now, Colin McDonald, who's the Assistant Attorney General for the DOJ, is giving updates on fraud crackdowns. I guess in South Carolina, we've seen this recently, where they go from state to state and they expose this different fraud and arrest people. And apparently, they're making moves in South Carolina now. Let's dip into that just for a minute, see what kind of information we can get on this.
Detection. This is an operational partnership, faster access to critical data, and joint work streams that enable us to move quickly when fraud indicators emerge. That speed matters. Every day we cut between detection and disruption and imprisonment, protects taxpayer dollars, and strengthens the integrity of our federal and state programs. Beyond the data streams that are now starting to flow, we are forging more and better relationships with our state partners. For example, in North Carolina, federal prosecutors are working directly with state program leaders responsible for overseeing federally funded programs, searching for criminals committing Medicaid, SNAP, and daycare fraud. These same prosecutors have created a channel for the North Carolina Department of Insurance to directly refer fraud cases involving illegal aliens who are defrauding the American taxpayer. The Northern District of Mississippi, represented today, has formed a fraud task force comprised of various federal and state stakeholders. The Northern, Middle, and Southern Districts of Florida have done the same with the Florida Anti-Fraud Task Force to protect public benefits programs. This is a historic collaboration in Florida, from Tallahassee to Miami, to attack fraudsters who exploit SNAP, unemployment benefits, and other taxpayer-funded programs. In addition to these partnerships, the DOJ is announcing today that since the 4th of July, our southeastern U.S. Attorney's offices have charged 12 additional defendants with defrauding taxpayer-funded programs. These cases reach over $90 million in intended losses, and you'll hear more about those from our U.S. Attorney's offices in a minute. One scheme targeted food stamp benefits in the Southern District of Florida. On July 8th, 4 defendants were charged for concocting a scheme to convince food stamp recipients to sell their federal benefits at a discounted rate in exchange for cash. The scheme caused nearly $20 million in fraudulent EBT transactions at a quick stop convenience store in Miami. 2 of the co-conspirators are foreign nationals, and 1 even has a pending final order of removal from the United States. And as the allegations allege, he is charged with defrauding the American taxpayer. As of today, in that case,
all right, we want to pull back.
All right, so let me dip into this real quick, just because they're just going to continue to go through the details of that in the sense of fraud. Millions and millions of dollars. They're talking about food stamp fraud in particular, which is happening all over the place, and we've talked a lot about this. This is something that's a problem that has persisted for a very long time. People, whether they're selling their food stamps or they've got stores that are willing to accept EBT for non-EBT items or whatever it may be. Even recently, you see people, we talked about the Kool-Aid pineapple trend. Like, a lot of that was being bought with EBT. That's fraud. If you're taking those tax dollars and you're buying whatever ingredients you need to then go out and start selling stuff out of the trunk of your car.
No matter how delicious it is, it's against the law.
Right. It is fraud. It is a federal crime. And so it's like, you know, and y'all see it. I mean, you guys have reached out and told us your personal experiences, whether it's Maria selling tamales at the back of her car or, whatever, they will, give them props for their entrepreneurship. But if you want to run a business, you need to pay for your products just like everybody else does and then figure out how to make a profit from there. You shouldn't be having the taxpayers supply your business to sit there and make 100% profit on what you do. That's crazy, crazy. And then there was a James O'Keefe video that just dropped from O'Keefe Media where they found smoke shops and bodegas out in New York City that were processing EBT cards for things like alcohol, cigarettes. They were going to smoke shops and buying Kratom with their EBT cards. And then they were just straight up. They didn't even care. They were like very transparent about it. He's like, I'm gonna use my EBT card to purchase this Kratom. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just swipe it and go. And then they've got these different loopholes to where the transactions that get processed, they don't even show as being from that particular store. So they can evade a detection if the hammer ever comes down and they try to say, hey, you're fraudulently processing EBT. Here's what he said. He said, we went undercover inside smoke shops and bodegas across New York City to answer a simple question. Would retailers accept taxpayer-funded EBT benefits to pay for alcohol or drugs? He's calling Kratom, and he buys what he buys in there is like raw leaf Kratom, which is just basically a plant from Malaysia and Southeast Asia that has different properties like pain relief, anxiety relief, so on and so forth. Still, shouldn't be buying it with EBT. He said store after store attempted to process EBT cards for Kratom. One clerk attempted to process the purchase as EBT cash. Another processed it as EBT food, treating the Kratom as if it were groceries. Federal law prohibits retailers from accepting SNAP or EBT benefits for non-food items, including drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. According to the investigation, these transactions may violate SNAP regulations, New York State regulations, and the USDA SNAP retailer agreement. To verify the rules, I called the number on the back of the New York EBT card. An EBT representative confirmed that drugs cannot be purchased directly with an EBT card. The representative also acknowledged that recipients who withdraw EBT cash benefits can spend that cash however they choose, including on drugs or alcohol. The investigation uncovered even more. One smoke shop provided a receipt bearing the name and address of an entirely different business. When we tracked down that business, employees said they had no connection to the smoke shop, proving that a cloned payment terminal may have been used to disguise the transactions. We discovered that the legitimate business was unaware of its credentials were being used. This is consistent with the use of a cloned terminal involving transaction laundering or merchant identity fraud. He said, when we confronted those involved, they denied the transactions had occurred. Moments later, members of our team were confronted outside with the store, and one individual threatened to shoot us. How much taxpayer money is being diverted through fraud in the EBT system? Dare I say, it's an ish ton. And good for the Trump administration and the Trump DOJ for cracking down on that stuff, because that is a problem that has persisted that nobody's decided to tackle. They just let it happen. And who's it detrimental to? It's for one, it's detrimental to the taxpayers. That's obvious. But it's also detrimental to those that are committing the fraud, that are relying on these taxpayer-funded EBT cards when there's a lot of people out there using them that don't even need it. Because if you're going out and you're buying cigarettes and alcohol with EBT, I mean, you must not be that hard up. Otherwise, you'd be buying food. And so the reason the DOJ, previous administrations haven't tackled it in the past, may be too unpopular, may cost you votes. Who knows? Who knows what the reasoning is? The main reasoning, and dare I say, probably the number one reason that this has been allowed to happen is because they want more people on government benefits. They want as many people as possible. And for the obvious reason, they want you dependent on them. They want to have the ability to take something away from you if you don't do what they tell you to do, and something that you need, something that you require. So you get stuck in this, you know, this welfare system, and many people can't get out. And it gets, not only that, but it gets passed down generationally. If you grow up in a household with a mom and a dad, or maybe just a mom, maybe just a dad, and they have always, you grow up watching them rely on food stamps to get by, even though they're perfectly able to work or whatever the case is, by the time you turn 18 or you turn into an adult, you become an adult, you're going to say to yourself, man, I grew up my whole life, we never had to pay for groceries. Why would I do that? Why would I do that now that I'm an adult? Of course I'm going to sign up for EBT. And the cycle goes on and on and on. And that's part of the plan. That's what they want. They want you reliant on them, because the government in this country and in many other countries wants to be your savior. I spent some time last night watching old clips of the way the media acted during COVID and how they treated people. And I put this together for you because I wanted you to see the progression. And first off, when we were told about all the, the masking and the distancing and the stuff that didn't really make a lot of sense, we were like, okay. We pieced it together pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't take long before we were like, hey, how does that even work? Like that does not add up. The math ain't mathing. Okay? At first, yeah, people were legitimately afraid. They didn't know what this was. They were trying to, you just had to take the word of the scientist, if you will. But then again, quickly we started questioning things, and then along came the vaccine. And this idea that if you take the vaccine, that's the end-all be-all. Because you take the vaccine, and not only will you not get sick, you won't even get infected in some cases. And the most important part is if you have the vaccine and you do get infected, you can't spread it. So it was the end-all be-all. If you can get everybody vaccinated, the COVID virus goes into said vaccinated person and just dies. Can't go anywhere else. Even though this is a super spreader event. Listen to how the media framed this in their pursuit and at the direction of Fauci, Pfizer, the big pharma, whoever. How they used their platforms to convince you that you had to get vaccinated.
Fox News, Rupert Murdoch's company, night after night, peddles these incredibly dangerous, poisonous lies about the literally life-saving coronavirus vaccine.
We all know already, right, that if you get vaccinated, that vaccine will basically prevent you from getting sick with COVID. It will prevent you from having to go to the hospital with COVID symptoms. It will prevent you from dying from COVID. Great. Good for you.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person to person, spreading and spreading, sickening some of them, but not all of them, and the ones that it doesn't sicken don't know they have it, and then they give it to even more people because they didn't recognize they were.
If you're vaccinated, you don't have a risk, and that's the reason why we say it's as simple as black and white. You're vaccinated, you're safe. You're unvaccinated, you're at risk. Simple as that.
Right? Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way.
Viruses don't mutate if they don't replicate. So if you stop the transmission and the replication, you're not going to get any more mutations.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
If you're vaccinated, you really don't need to worry about getting it in a way that's serious or transmitting it.
That is true. That is correct, Chris.
A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people.
The risk is extremely low of getting infected, of getting sick, or of transmitting it to anybody else. Full stop.
Fox News, Rupert Murdoch's company, night after night, peddles these incredibly dangerous, poisonous lies about the literally life-saving coronavirus vaccine.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
How about that? They actually said that to you. That it stops with every vaccinated person. And all the while, they knew good and well that this was not safe to put out for the entire public, for the entire world for that matter. They knew better. And for those of you that wouldn't do it, well, you got shamed into oblivion.
President Trump wrote on Twitter, Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. Don't let it dominate your life?
In terms of responding to a comment like that, it's gross.
It's okay to be afraid of COVID, and it's okay that it's dominating your life.
Everyone should be afraid of COVID.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We won't be free of this pandemic until we listen to the acknowledged truth. Listen to the scientists.
Science is truth.
You know, science is truth.
What is the impact to public health when people are openly questioning the science?
Now is the time to do what you're told.
By not hearing the truth, by not listening to the scientists, they are prolonging how bad the economy will be.
That when I see somebody out in the world who's not wearing a mask, I instantly think you are a threat, or you are selfish, or you are a COVID denier, and you definitely haven't been vaccinated.
Seek out the scientists and listen to their advice.
Listen to scientists. Listen to the scientists.
Trust the experts.
We're going to trust science. We're going to trust the experts. Parents who say, well, I need to do my own research, makes you think of that cartoon I saw of the tombstone that said, I did my own research.
Republicans have given their voters license to believe whatever they want to believe.
Heard somebody saying, listen to the scientists, do that.
Let's listen to the scientists.
That phrase, do your own research, it's popping up a lot in conversations about coronavirus and about COVID vaccines. Doing your own research. It seems so innocent, but it can have serious consequences. Renee, what are the roots of this phrase? I feel like I used to hear it around QAnon craziness.
Tase somebody over a mask. Tasing this lady over not wearing a damn mask.
If some jerk exposed my mother to COVID because they didn't want to wear a mask, I would want to kill them.
We can watch the experts, but we shouldn't be listening to Trump, a non-medical professional.
Well, the answer is listen to Bill Gates. Bill's right around about a lot of things.
Okay, we get it. Listen to Bill Gates. What? That's some fantastic advice right there. Hour number 3 coming up next.